So in this video I wanted to talk to you about the JCM800, which was an amp that came out in 1975 originally and was then reintroduced in 1981. In 1975 it may have had a different name, but they used that same circuit again. So this is really kind of a staple of some heavier kind of tones, probably, you know, the first time that Marshall had put out an amp capable of this much gain. When you first pull up the block, it's the Brick 2204 here in the Helix. Your 4x12 Blackback 30 is the amp cab which naturally gets paired with it. So here are just the default settings, which I think actually sound surprisingly so quite a bit of gain compared to a Plexi or anything, so that's with the drive on just 4. So things that we've got here, we've got a master volume, so I'm going to guess that this is going to make quite an impact on the tone. So if we crank the master, turn down the channel volume, we're probably going to get way more gain. On this particular amp, that master volume is making a huge difference to the tone and the amount of gain. And like the general saturated vibe. So I might, depending, you know, I'm going for crank tones here, I'm thinking. So I might take that master volume to start off with up to about 8.5 and just think, okay, that's my starting point now. You know, like that amp on the edge of whatever that is, you know, oversaturation maybe. And then probably we might find that this cleans up. Yeah, it cleans up really nicely with the volume. Now, other things that I want to try. Let's see how much gain we've got in this thing. So we'll take this up to 7.1. Like quite a lot of gain, I think. Drive all the way up now. Let's just tame the master a little bit so we get a bit more. So it's got a real kind of chewiness, a real clanginess to it as well. Quite a lot of fun, really. So for this kind of rhythm stuff, maybe that presence. I don't know, really fun to play, really easy to play. This treble control, I'm going to guess, is quite powerful. Yeah, interesting. So presence by default and treble at 7, both at 7. So experiment with those if that's your vibe. I want to try a different cab, but first of all, the bass I think will be post gain, so maybe not. So that's not a hugely influential control. If we take it all the way off, it's not necessarily making a huge difference to the actual overall tone. It's more dealing with kind of lower frequencies like the sub-ish region. The actual core tone itself doesn't change too much. Especially with this amount of gain, maybe with less drive. Yeah, so it doesn't make a big difference. Yeah, interesting. So don't worry too much about the bass, kind of set that wherever you want or leave it at default. The mids probably will take us from So, in terms of importance, I think that mid control is really important, the treble control is really important, and the master is really, really important for the amount of gain that you're going to get on this amp. So I think that's like an interesting first play there. You do a lot with your volume knob. So let's just try if we set up a different amp and cab setup. Just generally this is the way that I prefer to set up because you can be a bit more flexible. We'll use a dual cab as well. So I'm going to try Cali V30s using the classic kind of setup, and ribbon and reflections up to 20, and let's just see what we get. So again, master, take that up to about 7 maybe if you're wanting to get into these more aggressive regions, and then drive up to about 8. What does this sound like? So you could turn the sag up if you want an even more kind of compressed feel. And if you take the sag down, you'll probably get a bit of a tighter. So yeah, a bit tighter, and also like it kind of hangs together a bit better in terms of. So I know maybe like sag might be something you'd anticipate giving you more chewiness and things, but in terms of this tone actually hanging together and being more in your face and sort of clangy, I think turning that sag down might be a good decision. So, I don't know, to me that sounds... You know, it's doing that shred thing incredibly well, and you're not needing really to use any pedals with it. I think that was part of the JCM800 design in the first place, to be able to get insane amounts of gain without crazy volume necessarily. As I say, I think that master on the amp is the thing which really makes this amp model tick. You may want to use a noise gate in front of it. I think that's probably a good idea. Cleans up incredibly well with the old volume knob. If you wanted a bit more kind of bass kick, maybe you could use the low-high shelf thing, as you're not getting loads of bass from the actual amp itself, but I think that's part of what's making it kind of nice and chunky to play. You don't have too much low-end stuff going on, but you know... If you really want to move some trousers and stuff, you could consider putting this low-high shelf in. And I had no idea, actually, to be honest, that that could sound quite like that, and that's an insane... an insane sounding model. So yeah, check that out. I'm gonna probably put together a little intro now and some snapshots together. I think for lead tones, maybe I would bring these mids up slightly. Versus my rhythm tone, which I think I'd keep things around that. And also, you know, for sure you can use your volume knob to get all kinds of other in-between tones out of this amp, and obviously the drive and the master incredibly interactive. So but yeah, if you're going to be using the volume knob a bit, I would probably take this threshold back a bit. So as you're setting that up, maybe put your volume knob to where you want it to be and start to get to that noise floor by dialing it back. So maybe around like 65 for me in this room. Yeah, so I've got the noise gate set there so that it's not interrupting my kind of feel. But yeah, dogs. Alright, catch you in the video. You'll be able to find this in the folder if you want to leave a comment and let me know that you want me to drop it in. Cheers!